Hi Blue Egg Brown Nest friends, it's Kristen, and just want to say thank you so much for watching the tutorials and giving me feedback. I hope they've been helpful. That's why I did them. And as I was sitting here, it's a gorgeous day in Virginia, and I am working in old white today, and as I was painting today, I was thinking I'm doing a lot of old white, and I thought it might be helpful to talk to you guys about it because it can be a really versatile color. Even though it's white, there's a lot of different looks that you can get from it. So I thought it might be helpful to kind of talk about it today. I'm doing an entire kitchen set, table, and 6 chairs for Liz. And this type of piece, it's a newer piece. It's a newer set of furniture. It's not an antique, it's not dark wood. These actually were white, like I always call it dipped in white, like kind of Pottery Barnish, Crate and Barrel-ish. So maybe it's like almost like a greenish white. You know the white I'm talking about? It's not like crisp white that you're going to get with old white. I take that back. You're not going to get a crisp white with old white. It's a more interesting textured, antiqued white. But we're not quite there yet with these pieces. That kind of comes with the waxing process. But my point is that it's a newer piece. And so when you have a newer piece like these, this was blonde, like a blonde natural wood on top that was polyurethaned or whatever, had like a finish on it, kind of the same kind of style you can buy in any furniture place. And when you have a piece of furniture like that, you really need to cover it. When it's a modern piece of furniture, you want to do at least 3, I mean, this I've done 3 coats, and then I went over it with, and touched it up with a 4th coat, a lot of touch-ups, because I want to cover that blonde. I don't want to see that. Now, if it were an older piece, and there was dark wood underneath, I might want to see that. I'm looking at a piece behind you that I'll show you in a second. Kind of like the piece that I did the other tutorials on. I liked what was happening. I only did 1 coat on that, but that's not the case with some newer furniture. You really want to cover it. And then obviously I'm going to go back and I'm going to sand it. I'm going to have more control over it. I'm going to sand it down to the wood, and then I'm going to do the clear wax, dark wax. But you have to be really careful with old white or pure white, because it can start looking real muddy real quick with that dark wax, because it's lighter paint. So if you're going to use one of the whites, just know that it's going to create a more shabby look. You're not going to have as much control over that wax because it's a dark wax and it's going on white paint. Just to show you a few of the steps, I hope you can see this. My cameraman, my dear husband cameraman, is inside making pumpkin bread with the kids. This has 1 coat on it, and you can see the black coming through. I'm going to do another coat because I don't really like that. I think it needs a little more coverage. Maybe if it were an interesting kind of cognac color underneath, I would leave it. But it's an old piece, but it's black. Well, it's not even really well. Yes, it was black, but it might have been painted because it's dark inside. Obviously, it was painted. Duh. Anyway, so this is the other step, but I'm going to do another coat on this because I want it to be a little more covered. I won't go as many coats as I did on the newer pieces though. Here's a piece that I haven't started yet. I was actually going to do it in the Paris gray because I thought the legs kind of lent itself to that look. But my dear new friend Christen from One Chic Chef, she's a personal chef, and she's invited me into her home, and I've done some interior design for her. She's so super sweet. I just painted a secretary for her. She has really great taste. She has a shoe room. She has a room dedicated to her shoes that I have to show you. I've been asking her to take pictures, and hopefully I'll be able to show you that soon. She saw this piece in my driveway, and I know she's going to want white. So, not that you really need to see me do another white piece, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to paint a little bit, and just to show you kind of what I do with this style piece. It has a lot of details if it's small. I use a smaller brush. I don't use my Sloan big, chunky, amazing, awesome brush because it's big. I could do the top part of it, I could do the surface, and it would take me no time at all. But if you can see, which I hope you can, all these spindled legs, guess what? Going over that with a big chunky brush, I'm going to get a lot of spills, a lot of drips. It's not going to be good coverage. So I use more narrow brush. I mean, this is a super old brush from like Home Depot or something. It's cheap. It's nothing fancy, but it's, I don't even know if it was narrow when I started it or when I started using it, or if it's slowly become narrow. You definitely can use one of those brushes that, you know, it's like on a slant. I don't know what that's called. But those are really good. I just used one for, I have one right over there. Hold on. This is a slanty brush. You know, I'm not going to try to name it. My dear husband's not out here to correct me today. But if you have a piece with a lot of texture and grooves in it, I mean, one thing I'll say about grooves in a piece is they're interesting. You don't want to fill them. I don't want to fill them. I'm not going to tell you what to do because this is open to interpretation, any kind of painting or whatever. I like leaving the grooves there because I would probably sand them if I didn't leave them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still like the dark strips there. And then I just kind of go side to side if it's really spindly. I mean, to be honest, this is like a chair, a spindle chair, and they just take a lot longer. It's going to take a lot longer. So you get the idea. And when you go back to sand, I love just taking my sander, my hand sander, and going da-da-da-da. Like, it's so it kind of takes off a chunk from every single piece. I'll try to show you that later. Maybe I'll show you in a picture. But while I have you here, I want to show you one piece with the darker wood, kind of similar to these, but I could leave it. And then I'm going to take you upstairs and show you an armoire that I did in my bedroom for my TV. And you almost wouldn't know it's old white. It has this really cool, it's not a yellowish tint, but it's like a, it's just a very antique, it's like, not sepia tone, but it's almost sepia tone, you know what I mean? Like, it looks aged. That's the word. It looks aged. And I love that look there. I might not like that look, say, in my daughter's bedroom or in my kitchen. But that's, again, how versatile the old white is. I'm going to spin you around so you can see, the piece. I'm going to try not to make you dizzy here. I did not grow up with a video camera. Love you, Mom and Dad, but we never had one. So anyway, I don't want to move around too much as I show you this. So this is another old piece. This was from an estate sale. This dear couple sold me a ton of pieces from an estate sale, and this is one of these cute little old dressers. But you can see that I've left some wood showing through. Now this is pretty shabby again. I could leave it like this, but I'm going to go over it one more time, I think. I'm not going to do complete coverage. I won't do like 4 coats or anything, because I want to kind of leave, and this is again the cheesiness coming through. I want it to, I don't think it wants to be full coverage. I think you kind of want to get an idea of what was underneath for so long. So I'm going to leave, I'll probably do one more coat. I just wanted to mention that I have this estate sale that I was talking about, I have quite a few pieces coming in, and in my garage it's completely full. I don't want to show it to you because it's a little bit disorganized and embarrassing, but check out blueeggbrownnest.com and see if there's anything of interest before I go to town and paint it, because I can always do the color that you would like. These are Liz's really cool chairs. Again, they're more modern. I mean, I know they're kind of a throwback to that French wheat kind of chair, but they are newer chairs. They're going to look real cute and shabby after they are painted, though. Again, you can kind of see the table. It has a real thick coat on it. I don't really see any streaks. Not sure you can quite tell, but that's the general idea. So I'll see you in a minute. Hey guys, it's me again. I wasn't planning on showing you this part of the process, but I did just start sanding some of my old white chairs here. And I wanted to show you how much I sand, because it really gets to be that shabby look that looks, I think, the best with old white. I sanded specifically the edges of the piece, all the detail on the armchairs, all the crevices. I have my large brush that I just brush away the extra sand, and I went around all the edges. So I just wanted to show you kind of what I do when it comes to an old white piece. I think this is a really kind of country, shabby look that looks really awesome in the white. And I'm going to show you what happens when I do the dark wax with the old white. Because again, you have to be the most careful when it's a light color with your dark wax. So, to be continued. Hey guys, it's Kristen. I'm sorry for all the splicing, the cutting. Splicing? I don't know if that's the right word. Cutting, but I wanted to show you another piece of that I did in the old white, because I think it's an important contrast. This is the armoire that I found that I'm totally in love with, that I put my TV in my bedroom. And I wanted it to have a really, I know I used the word sepia tone, and I kind of like that word. It's super shabby, and I wish you could tell, but I did a really heavy wax, a really heavy sand on it. There are these great little indentions that were obviously carved into the armoire. The top has this awesome little design on the top, and I wanted it to look really old. And tea stained. That was the term that I used when I posted about it. And that's what it reminds me of. This is Shelly. I don't think you guys have met her. She's my 12-year-old cat who is not too fond of her orange brothers that were adopted after her. So Shelly hangs out in my bedroom a lot. But that is an image of the armoire in a very heavily old white distress. So the point being, you can use old white in a lot of different ways. So it's a really versatile color and one that you should explore. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.